Hello, guys. Welcome to this talk. This is Unscripted. It's something that I started a while ago, like months ago, and at one point I had to go away from the internet for some time, and now I'm back, and I feel like I should just go on speaking about this and trying to like do the next episode because last time I think I stopped at episode 8, and this should be a 9, and I believe that 8 is a very powerful number because from 8 to 9 it hasn't been easy. What I have seen from episode 8, the last time I did episode 8 and now episode 9 today, it is something that I will write in my book and I will share with a lot of people because I'm never shy to tell people about my journey or to tell people what I go through on a daily basis because I believe that these stories are what really make us. These stories, this is what really makes us who we are. The fact that you have you have a journey that you've been going through. The fact that you have a story, you have somewhere you came from. That is what makes you who you are. Today, maybe because you're just owning some small business at Mudurwa or in town, or maybe you're just driving a Toyota and you're driving this Honda, and maybe you think that is the end of life and you feel like that's it. But I believe there's always something inside you that will tell you that you need more, that you want to be more, that there's something that you need. So somebody living their lives to the fullest sometimes needs a lot of things, and it needs you to be true to yourself. I have seen a lot of people, I've read a lot of stories, and I've read biographies, I've read autobiographies, I've read books, and not so many, but every book I always read, I always feel connected to it in one way or the other. And I read a book about this woman called Michelle Barbara who wrote some book. It's called From Rejection to Acceptance. And that is the book I read that really changed my life, and I had to really look deep down and go and cage that little girl that I had left back there. Because I realized I was walking. I was doing everything I was doing. I was going through everything in life. I had given birth to beautiful children. But I wasn't really living my life because I wasn't being authentic. I wasn't being true to myself. I was living from people's handouts, and I was living from people's opinions. Like if they said something that I didn't like, it would put me down for a week crying. And if somebody really insulted me, I would walk with my head bowed down knowing that that's the truth, even though some people other people didn't know about it. And this really made me get into a cage where I had to really feel bad about myself. I didn't know how to appreciate myself. I didn't know how to love myself anymore because I thought that was the end of it. Like what people said about me really mattered because I felt they saw me, they knew me, they knew my story, they knew my journey. And because I had shared my story with a couple of TVs and a lot of people, people knew what I had gone through in the past and what I was still going through. And at one point it became a very big burden because like my friends started telling me that this yakon is too much, this is too much, this is too much. And I kept asking myself, was this really meant for me? But the moment I got authentic and I realized that this was my life and that each and every moment in my life was like destined to be the way it was, because I believe that everything happens for a purpose. Right now, I believe that my past, whatever I went through, it had a purpose. But I taught myself not to live there. So right now I have a journal. I have a lot of journals that I keep, and sometimes I can pick something from my journal and post it on Facebook. But somebody will think that is what's happening right now. Because I believe that people don't know how to communicate anymore. Even on Facebook, people just read stories for it. Like, we're going to read this, and then they judge it according to what they feel, their opinion. People don't want to give people chances to be who they are. And when you are too open, or when you speak about your life openly, they start seeing as if you are embarrassing the family, yes, and they think maybe this should not be said, this should not see the daylight. And this really makes us go into a mode where you either have to adhere to this, or you have to break forth and be yourself and try to do what you love. So if you break forth it's always a problem because very little people, a bunch or handful, are going to support you, and maybe they're not really going to be there. They want to be advising you here and there, telling you, okay, you can do it, but generally you still have to do it alone. Finding myself, I had to go through a lot of things. I have to be taught by a lot of people. I had to drop a lot of things. I had to shed a lot of things. And I had to still go down deep into my heart just to open up those wounds that I thought that I had healed. And I had to deal with them because I realized if I didn't deal with them, they were going to deal with me. I had to go into the closet and just get the skeleton out. And when I did sometimes, or when I do sometimes open up and speak about my life openly, my daily life, even when I'm struggling or when I'm feeling good, some people dare to say, oh, you're lamenting too much. Some people say, oh, you're doing this and this. But at the end of the day, I believe my story is mine. It might be attached to my sister because she's my sister. It might be attached to my brother because they're my brother. But it's not attached to them fully because it is my story. I have my life, they have their lives, and everybody can choose to say their story the way they want it. So if I should speak about my story, in this generation, you will find that people will come in and try telling, oh, you shouldn't be speaking like this and this. And that is why sometimes telling your own story can even make you not be liked by so many people. But look around. Some of the greatest stories we have that were told by people themselves or that were written by people close to them, they show us really where these people came from. And when we see their triumphs, that is where our hope comes from. That is how we have faith in what we do. That is how we keep on the passion burning. Because when you can listen to somebody else's story, I think you can learn a lot from it if you're a wise person. Because I always tell people, girl child, the little girls and boys still going through life and going through teenage life and coming up behind me, I always tell them one thing. You better learn from somebody else's story. Because if you're gonna learn from your own story or wait for your own experience, then you might even go through something that is more heavy than the other person, or you might not even have the grace to go through it. But if you learn from somebody else's story, and then you say, okay, so and so said this road is bumpy, and I don't want to go that way. You can choose to say, okay, I want to go this way because so and so said they went this way and they messed up. So sometimes these are only signs to tell us stop, red alert, to tell us bend this way, go this way. And for me, I chose to let my life be that kind of a sign, you know. I want my life to be a sign to everybody. I want people to believe one day when they hear my story, because it's not a really good story. It's a dirty one. It's one that needs to be trashed and taken away. It's one that not so many people would want to listen to. But I believe that just me saying it is enough, because when I wait for people to say, they're going to say what they know. They're going to add their sugars and their salts. They're going to add everything they want to add, and they're going to omit some of the things they feel are not good to be said. So when I say my story on my own, I don't say it for people to feel sympathetic with, to feel sympathy for me. Don't feel sympathy for me. You can be empathetic, yes, but don't feel sympathy, because I'm past sympathy. Right now, all I know is that this is my journey, this is my process. I'm going to go through it with grace. And I believe that doors are opening, and I believe that great things are going to come. So I want to urge you, my listener today, whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you've gone through, if you want to get your story out there, if you want to say something that has been hurting you for a long time, this is the right time. When you're still alive is the right time, because when you're dead and gone, nobody will ever know your story. So a lot of people have gone to the graves with their secrets, and nobody even knew what they were carrying. And today, some of the people remaining are the ones to suffer that consequence. So I just urge you guys that when you see someone opening up and saying something about their lives, it's not every day that we need sympathy. And it's not every day that we are lamenting. Sometimes we say these stories to get somebody who is in that hole outside and know that things are going to be okay. So if it's not working for you as a person, then let it work for somebody else. But we should just stop this criticism on the internet, where when somebody says their story and then we turn it into something else. I believe rumors are started by others, not the person themselves, because the person will always maybe say the truth, or maybe even if they say a lie, it will go out, yes, but most of the people will believe because it came from them. And Trust is built through words, through deeds, good deeds, through consistency in honesty and integrity. And once trust is broken, it's always hard to rebuild it because it involves a lot of things. If you trust yourself and you know you can go far, if you trust yourself and you know you're doing your best, trust yourself more. Believe in yourself. Don't put yourself down because of people's opinions. Just go on. Sometimes somebody may have the copy of your story from the other episode, and you're already in another episode, and they won't understand, but you are the one who knows. So keep going until that light shines. Keep striking those stones until you have that fire. Because I know that just by a spark, we are able to open up this conversation bigger, so that each and every day we are able to live the truth about ourselves, not putting on these makeups and not trying to get loans and cover up things that later on give us stress, and we leave our children with stress after we succumb. So I believe that even if right now I don't have and I can't ask somebody and ask another person to help me, help is something that is paramount. It's going to be there. And you need to help somebody. And somebody needs to help you. No man stands alone. So if we can help each other with these advices, and we can help each other by telling our stories the way they are. Right now, our generation is dying because we don't have mentors who can tell us their true, real stories. People are afraid of what the internet will say, what people will say, how the world will take them, and how people will go with this. If you're afraid of that, then it means you're not living your life. If you know you're borrowing too much to get something, then you're not living your life. But if you can get that thing and you get it even a little bit, just small, you can build your life. Life has taught me a lot, but the one greatest lesson that life has taught me is humility. I've come to know that when you're humble, really, even when you're able to give the other cheek, it means you're inviting the Almighty to come and fight your battles. But when you're still strong enough to fight them yourself and you feel like you can still fight, then He'll let you do that until you're tired. It's like you're fighting with a person who only wants to hug you. So they keep hugging you and you keep fighting them. They keep hugging you so tight, but you keep wanting to beat them and hug them. You're going to fight and fight until one day you're able to accept that hug. Then you're going to feel it. So guys, let's stop fighting with life. We don't have to wear all these suits now. We can wear them even later when we have the money for ourselves. Depression is eating our generation because we want to be like somebody. You want to go like this. You want to dress like this. You want to have the iPhone. You want to be the latest with the latest fashion. But what are you putting in action so that 20 years from now or 5 years from now, you're going to say, I lived my life, but still be in a position to live it? Because there's a time I say, I show people my pictures, the past photos, and they see how big I was. And people ask me, what happened? I told them, life happens. And at the end of the day, when life happens, you have to embrace it. You have to love yourself still. Because it's not about the meat on the body. It is about your mind. How strong is your mind? How strong can you overcome these challenges that we're having right now? Right now, the economy is at its bottom. I think that's the bottoms up the other guy was talking about. So we are at the bottom pit, and they say that when you hit rock bottom, the only place you can go is up. But you can't go up unless you accept that you are at the bottom and you accept that you're going to climb. And climbing is not easy. And you're going to meet people who wants to just step on your head so that you go down and die. But you're going to find still people who want to hold your hand and pull you up. Wherever you find, I want you to know that it's the process. Be patient. Love yourself. Love other people. For that is the commandment God left us. With those little remarks, guys, I wasn't reading from any script, and I believe that this is going to help somebody. May God bless you. We're going to see each other soon again. This is Unscripted, and I'm your host, Demba. Very soon we're going to be having my first guest. He's somebody that has inspired me, and I just want to bring him on set so that at least we can speak about things that are ailing this generation and this country and the youths of this country and even the middle age and even the old. because everybody is involved. I love you, humanity. I love you, the universe. I love everybody. I love you, humans, fellow humans. May you all have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you.